Welcome, everybody. You are on part two of the Christmas show, Living in a Higher Love. And this is Bart Sharp, and you're on Becoming Quantum Conscious at United Public Radio and UFO Paranormal Radio at 107.3 and 107.7 and 105.3 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Also on Roku, X, Facebook, YouTube, and other internet platforms all around the world, also including the uprntalkradio.com website, of course, where you can listen in as well. And today we have one of my favorite people on this show. For the first part of this show, we have 5 speakers to complete the second half of the show. But Hakim Awyan is an Egyptian chematologist, and what that would mean is he is in a lineage of people, beginning with his grandfather, who had developed the school of Egyptian chematology, the oldest study of Egyptian knowledge, basically. And his website is gebandnutjourneys.com. This is a tour business where you get to go to these sacred sites. Also with his wife, Karina Chrysler Iwan, who can't be with us today. She is an Egyptian astrologer of magnitude at KarinaChrysler.com, CRYSLER. Great readings from this woman. So welcome to the show, Hakim. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me in this wonderful day. And I wish Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for all of your audience. And thank you very much. Feel honored to be here with you today.
Oh, it's always my pleasure because I always learn so much from you. I don't know anybody that has the Egyptian knowledge that you do, that you have had given down to you through the generations. What a gift you are. And so you're going to start the Christmas show off and on mirroring. So I'll let you at it.
Yeah, we choose in this special time full of love to speak about Hathor or Hathor, as the ancient used to call her, and she's the goddess of um, unconditional love, music and art, joy, and fertility, many others. She was one of the most famous ones. And the mirror was one of her signs to uh, prove, or one of her power signs to show um, that real love, or the highest point of love, is the one that reflects our way of accepting and loving ourselves and each other. So, by having a strong self love, that's her teachings, the surroundings and everything in nature start to share the same love back. And she speaks about an unconditional one, that with the existence of a condition, the love goes with the condition. So, love for just the feeling of it, knowing this is who I am, a person filled with love. And the ancient used to write the word I am by a jar, and uh, and Hathor milk into it. And the more you fill yourself with this cosmic love, the more you have it, the more you can give it and receive it. It becomes who you are. And following our method of uh, kindness, or uh, releasing all material love and accepting only love for itself, is what the Sufi inherited after that, and it became their method. And they still live with this belief till today. and you can feel different dealing with people who lived with this belief for long, and as much healthy people as you can see, just filled with love.
Mm.
And I believe that there is many ways um, we can embody this in our daily life. For example, one of them, or the most important one for me, is nothing is personal. All the people see their world, and being filled with this amount of love, just like a mom can feel the pain of the person in front of you and feel sorry for them, or know where is this emotion is coming from. So it's easier to feel compassion and share love back, not to hunt mistakes, to allow yourself to forgive them or to become kind. And that's why the always linked Hathor to mothering, because this is the deepest feel of an unconditional love we have. No matter how the person is, the mom is the most connected person to the to each of us. Yeah. Yes, love is a huge matter. We can speak about it for a long time.
Yes, and the Hathors were an embodiment of the great love with that, almost like an off-planetary love that was bestowed or taught or encouraged to the
Um,
humans. As they were the teachers. I think we have a short in the reception right now. Hopefully, we're going to come back with that. And the whole thing with the Egyptians that Hakim and others, and who my next guest coming on, Pennie Loftus, all concur with or have the same point of view that these Hathars and other beings were always contributing to the development of humanity. And we're just kind of waiting for Hakim. He blipped out as the joys of the internet radio continue. So yeah, that's so much about what the Hathars were all about, was to teach and to educate. And God, I have a lot of questions for this guy um, with all of that. And we're just going to see if he comes back, and if not, we will bring Pennie Loftus on. Have a little bit more time with Pennie. Uh, we'll give it another minute or two. And it's really interesting to just learn about how ancient cultures saw love, because it was probably a totally different condition than what we interpret love as. But as it was told to me, I was driving down the road a few years ago in France, around the Stargate Mountain Peak de Bogarash, where there's a lot of extraterrestrial activity, and they just would seem to pop into my awareness from time to time, almost like somebody ringing you up on the phone, but instead of a ring, a voice just pops into your head that you know is not yours. It's like, what? And they said, you've done a good job so far. You're moving along in a great way, but just know that the vibration of love continues up so many levels than what humans know. It was a great lesson for me because it taught me that their concepts were way beyond, and our vibrational development is a important part. And what that means for humans and common humans is they have to understand the stories of emotional development. And we have Hakim back.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Little
God
technical
bless,
problem.
God bless the internet. And so I was asking
It's
you, how do you think the Hathars taught the ancient Egyptians about higher love? Any other ideas with that?
Yes, there was a part of the ancient way is to receive messages from above. Hathor is considered uh, a celestial being or the huge body where all the stars and planets is. So
Excuse me. I got so Hathars is almost like a conglomeration of the cosmos. Is that what you're saying?
yes, uh,
Wow.
till today the Milky Way, what we call Milky Way, because of her.
Wow. I never had that concept like that.
The shape of the Milky Way uh, is the source of the picture the ancient Egyptian took to become another goddess. Her name is Nut. And Nut is the second name of our website, Jep and Nut. Nut is the sky, and she's supposed to be the first layer of skin of Hathor. So the
Mm.
sky that we see by our eyes from this dimension, up when we look up, is considered the first layer of skin of Hathor, and the rest above is the rest of the body.
So we would
This is
we would get to higher, purer loves each of these five levels that we were able to transcend.
the ancient belief there were seven,
Ah, of course.
seven different levels. And each level have a different emotion reflect on the person, and also a different concept or a way to react with everything, with people around, with nature around. So, like for example, one that connects you with the love of your surroundings, one connect to the love of people around you, or nature and destiny, or
Mm.
what's happening. So part of it could be just joy or acceptance, satisfaction, like different levels. But the source of all of it is the deepest acceptance or acceptance, excuse my English, for ourself.
Mm.
And
Wow.
the more you love who you are, the more levels you can climb up. The Sufi people now speak and say the more you drown, they look at the love as if it's an ocean, huge ocean, and the more you drown into it, the less you are attached to the physical things, and the more you're filled with a deeper type of love or a higher, more powerful concept of love itself. How did the ancient learn? There was more than one ritual, like downloading or what they called star knowledge at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have about 1 minute, and I was just curious, is there a blessing that would be given that you would say to each other that would um represent what you've learned from Hathor? I mean, as we say, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, may peace be with
Yes.
you. Is there something Egyptian in that same form and fashion?
Um, yeah, we use the word also peace, uh, but for Hathor, we wish for each other's. It's a Egyptian term. I don't know how hard to explain, but to wish for the other person to be loved, not just to love, but to be filled with love, or wish for them for love to go through them. Mm. And from Hathor teachings, best gift you give to yourself is one time favorite song, you sing it as loud as you can.
Mm.
Yeah,
Lots,
you any
lots,
song.
lots of great concepts there. To be loved, to have love yourself, to have love given to you, but also for you to receive it and shout it with the loudest voices out to the world. Wow. So we have Hakim Awyan. Uh, his website is www.geb, G-E-B, and nut, N-U-T, and he pronounces it very differently, journeys, Journeys, gebandnutjourneys.com. He has lots of great tours, hugely intuitive. And his wife, who also partners and does phenomenal Egyptian and other styles of astrological readings. She's quite a genius. Karina Chrysler at karinachrysler.com. Crysler. Thank you for so much for being on the show, and may you be loved, have love inside of you, and you shout it out to the world, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
All right, bless you.
Bless you. Bye.
All right, that was fun. I'm bringing on the next guest, Pennie Loftus.
Hi,
Hey, hey, hey.
how are
I
you?
I am good. We are
Good.
now we've been from Cairo, Egypt. Now we are in Limoux, France,
Uh-huh.
with Pennie Loftus,
Uh-huh.
uh, sound activator of magnitude.
Ooh.
That's how I say it. In her latest book, let's see, we get it out here. This is the inner solar system. I got to read it. Being amazing, the new normal. It's such an attractive book. P.L. Loftus at
Yeah.
dragonseye.com. I love this book. It's a great instructional manual about some of the basics of what you do
Mhm.
uh, as a sound activator. Um, and so glad you're here.
Me too. Me too, Bart. Me too.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what message do you have for us today, Miss
Okay.
Pennie Loftus or P.L.
So,
Loftus of Dragon's
Bart,
Eye Heart?
dragon'seyehub.com. Um, you said to me we're going to be talking about love. And so I asked my guides and I said, okay, what we're going to talk about. And they said, you remember a long time ago we gave you the alphabet of planets? And I said, yes. So they said, spell love with your alphabet of planets, of which I did,
Whoa.
which, yeah, which opened up a plethora of information. So so I did it in English because that's one of the biggest spoken languages on planet. And I also spelt it in French because I'm in France. So I spelt love and I spelt amour. So love is Jupiter, O is Neptune, V is Venus, and E is Mercury. So we have two trans planets and two personal planets, which means a lot because Jupiter is all about expansion, Neptune is limitlessness, Venus as you know, is all about the love and much, much more beautiful things. And Mercury is the messenger, but Venus is also the translator of information. But Venus, the planet, is where a lot of energy comes to, so it can be understood from Mercury, from the sun. And so then I got one of my instruments out, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, where you can play all the tuning forks all at once, so you can play love. And so I've been doing this with my clients this week, and it's been having an amazing effect. So we're using the tuning fork, which is the frequency of 528, which is love itself, the light codes. And then I look to where all these planets are right this moment. And interesting, with Hakim coming from Egypt, we have 285, which is where Jupiter is an expansion, and it's the gateway of Hathor. So it was kind of a nice segue when he was on before. And this is Egyptian technology. It's the divine feminine on planet, and right now Jupiter L is in that house. Then we go to Neptune, limitlessness, and he right now, because I do cosmic astrology, not tropical, in the cosmic astrology, he is in 432, the frequency of the all. So right now we have the divine feminine, Egyptian technology, the gateway of Hathor, the sisters of Dendara, the rainbow temple of light, with Polaris, 432, and then we go to V, where Venus is, and she's working with the dragons right now. She's in Andromeda, and she's in the gateway of transformation. And then we have E, which is Mercury, which is in the Milky Way, which is what Hakim was talking about, and that's in 852, which is the subconscious. And so when you put all that together, you can play it. And that's love, everybody, in frequency terms.
Wow.
Yeah, all that information just in those tuning forks on that wave of frequency that sound attached. So even if you're deaf, you still would have got that. It transmutes anything frequency.
It does.
So what do you think about that, Bart?
I'm still ringing from it, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't too much.
No, you know me. I bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just amazing.
And interestingly, when you go to the amour, which is in French, you still have Venus and Neptune, but now you have Uranus. So the love cycle in France itself, where any French colony, where anyone speaks French, they will have Uranus. So in that moment, the love will arrive. In that moment, boom, like a lightning bolt. They didn't expect it. They would always have the limitlessness that is Neptune, and they will always have Venus, which is translating this information to you. But it also has the moon, which is emotional intelligence, and it also has the sun with the light codes. So when they call, France or Paris, the first place of love, you can see why, because it's also got the light codes in the sun. It's also got the emotional intelligence and that surprise. So in different languages, it's a different frequency, which was surprising to me when I looked into it, Bart. Yeah.
It is. And so when we get into this vibrating these frequencies of the planets and love, anything we should expect?
Well, it's interesting because, as you know, I work with the inner solar system, which is to do with our body. And so the collective, the human design of the human being, in the collective arena, if you haven't had your personal frequencies done, 285 is the lower root. 432 is the stellar gateway. 111. I mean, these are all very cosmic, very, very cosmic. 852 is the third eye area. So you can expect down from the lower root to the third eye, especially after the 7th and the 8th of December, when the 8th gate in the human body opened for the first time ever, as this is the 5th time we've tried to evolve. And love has opened up the 8th gate, because these are the frequencies right now that are working on our third eye and our lower root. So it's quite interesting.
So we're penetrating a different dimension that we're trying to bring into this reality, so we can have assistance from the vibration of love to make sure we make it, basically.
Yeah, and the frequency that we've just played is going to help, because the third eye is a reality maker. So when you bring love into the equation, you can create a much cosmic dimensional reality that's not as dense as what we have been walking through, and it will become much lighter. But with the magnetics of the solstice coming up on the 21st, everything is drawing in. The magnetics are drawing us in. And then the darkest day, and then after that, it will start to open and get much lighter. So it's going to be quite interesting over the next few days with what is going on in the world, what is going on with the frequencies and within us, because these energies are raining down. These light codes are coming in through the neutrinos, and it's changing us on a subatomic level. So, you know, it's actually happening to everything from a blade of grass, a drop of rain, human being. It's just amazing what's going on with love.
Exactly. And so, you know, when you talk about that, there's three words that show up. Love is penetrating.
Yeah.
And we're getting a big team together because we're penetrating much farther beyond just our bodies, which we're always thinking, well, all I got is this body
Yeah.
that we're contained. But no.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. We've got this energetic field that is expanding, which is allowing more consciousness coming from our higher self, or whatever you want to call it, from source. And with that, there is a lot more information coming in. So your actual view of the world becomes much bigger, much, much bigger. And your world becomes bigger, and it becomes more unified, because you're working with everybody on a much bigger level. So love is unity, and love brings everyone together. And especially, you know, this time of year when it's cold and we're looking towards the solstice and Hanukkah, Christmas, and then New Year's Day, as we had a big meditation here, and Alan was, what came in for him was New Year's Day is the quietest day on planet. And it's a great day to everyone to go in and just concentrate maybe on one thing, like peace or love, or, you know, any of those exceptional energies, to bring this much quicker. And love itself, who knew it was expansive, limitless, it was translatable, and it's a messenger. That was the plan. That's from the planets. And then there's also a number. All these planets have numbers, and when you do the numerology, the cosmic numerology, it equals 3. 3 is love. And so, and since I've been doing this work, everywhere that I've looked, there's been 3s everywhere. It's amazing how big the number 3 is, and it's expansive. It's all of it.
It is. And as a friend of mine who's has a show called The Outer Beyond on UPRN, Michelle Delroche, says to me, it's almost like a Tesla code is how I interpreted it. It's 3333. And it's a multiplication of the frequency, vibration, and energy of whatever you're focused on.
Yeah. I mean, 333 is expansion. In my game, you know, it's just pure expansion, and now it's pure expansive love, you know, because that's what came through with this download when I was asking about the cosmic view of love, because I know you were getting different perspectives on your show, and I thought, well, how interesting.
Oh, I love this. And by the way, my next speaker just had something happen, and she's not going to be on, so we got more time.
Okay. Okay.
I know you're never a loss for words. That's one of the things I like about you.
Yeah, I can always chat. Always chat. Always chat.
Always chat. Pennie used to be a hairdresser, and
Hmm.
suddenly in 2012, can I tell your story a little bit?
You can, of course you can.
Okay, so 2012, this voice comes in and goes, everything's going to be different for you. We're going to change everything, and we're going to let you know who you actually are. You've been living this mundane life as a hairdresser phenomenon of doing some of the most daring work in that field. And now we're going to teach you about who you really are, which is you've been a being from other incarnations beyond human and of all kinds. And this time you get to be human and you're bringing in a message. And so, anything that Pennie does, she thinks really big, even though she lives in a town of 4,000 people and probably one of the most cosmic places I've ever been, Quillan, France, and close to the Rennes Chateau, Pic de Bougarage, and all of those wonderful places I continually bring up on the show. So here she is with all of this ancient knowledge, ancient experiences, Egyptian experiences, all happening. So you always surprise me with the most out there information. So here we're bringing in love. And when you talk about that, almost like it feels like you're pulling it from deep within the earth and activating something through the sound vibrations, but it's also going in the stellar gateway, which is the cosmos, if I'm
Hmm.
understanding you correctly.
Yeah, I mean, when we work with the frequency, frequency is everything. It's Pen, it's me, it's you. We're all frequency. And when you go into the inner solar system, so from the dawn of the human, we've always looked to the solar system, not realizing that we're looking at ourselves. So when we start to look at ourselves in that way, we don't get stuck with the smallness. We go bigger. So when nothing looks so, we're able to step back a lot more. Your perspective shifts. And this is when I work with people, this is what has been happening a lot, the perspective shifts. So, when you work with the inner solar system, now we know what love is, by spelling it, we can look. So Jupiter is your root energy, Neptune is the left part of your heart, Venus is the whole left side of your energetic body, and Mercury is your conscious mind. So when you see love from that perspective, suddenly you can get your own personal frequencies and play your own love stream. It'd be interesting when you get couples together or people who are truly in love, like I've got two friends, they and they're just, it'd be interesting to look at their frequencies to see if there's a correlation with these new well, not new love frequencies, but my perception's been open to now look at these personal frequencies this way. But when you look at, like the city of love, Paris, well, of course it would have the moon, emotional intelligence, it would have the sun, with the light codes coming in straight from the great central sun and source. And, to play them together over a body like this, especially if people are anxious, if people are stressed, because a lot of people are right now, or they're moving there with Uranus at play, they're shifting different ways of working. And so, imagine if you can just play your own love tune so you
Mm.
can come back to yourself. Because to me, that's what love is. It's coming back to you and then going forward to unity, and seeing each other as one. Love is one. Love is everything. Love is the vibration of everything. So it's really nice to get this perspective.
So
Yeah.
when you're connecting deep within yourself, you're and through your intention, but I think it happens naturally as well. But you're basically, when you're in tune with yourself, you connect out with everything, or that's the possibility.
Absolutely. And you know, like when I played this over some clients, I played it on myself as well, and I played it on some other people. I called it the nest of love, and we put it on top of the head, where's that there, and we played the other tuning fork to the root energy, and you could feel it going through every single cell. You're singing, you know, that vibration is going to every single part of your body. It's going to be quite interesting when we start working with this. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, for those who would like to practice such techniques at home, can you give them any recommendations?
I can. So if you go onto YouTube, which is free, or you go on my website, there is a frequency directory. Just press the orange button and all the frequencies come up free. What I would suggest is if you want to work with love and expansion, then you would play 285 hertz. If you wanted to play with the limitlessness of love, then you would play 432 hertz. If you wanted to have translations from Venus, you know, what is love to me? I was talking to somebody about peace and they said, but what is peace? And we asked around the room and everyone had a different perspective of peace. So I would imagine it would be the same with love. So you would play 111 to talk to Venus about love and how it is for you and what that means for you. And then if you wanted messages of love, then you would play 852. 852 is the subconscious. And when you work with the subconscious and you are asking it about love, it's surprising what might come up. And that
Mm.
will only expand you and expand your field, which will bring in more love.
So,
And then, you know, sorry, go on.
go ahead. So, hypothetically, when you would play this frequency and you would, have the discipline of feeling that vibration and how it kind of penetrates your body and vibrates throughout your body system. That's another meditation in that you might get an internal message, or
Hmm.
you might start that process of letting something go that's preventing you from,
Yeah,
being more, or maybe there'd be
absolutely.
other things that could possibly happen. Uh,
Well, yeah, how frequency works is it works within your field as well. So it will bring to you what you require and desire. It will bring to you what you require. So you could play it when you go to bed and you could suggest something before you go to sleep. And you can play it very, very low. You don't really have to hear it because it's frequency. And then you could play each one each night and see which one brings to you what you need, what you require or desire. But it also, you know, with it being where love is around our solar system and around ourselves, it will bring out things like you just said. You'll be able to let things go, bring things in without really realizing what you've actually done. And it will give you aha moments, you know. It's surprising how frequency works. I mean, I've worked with someone who is deaf and they felt absolutely everything. You can use them for meditation if you're out walking, you know, however you feel.
yeah, because it's not about hearing it with your ears, it's about
Mm-mm,
feeling the vibration once again penetrate your body. And through
absolutely.
the penetration, something happens. But
Yeah.
my point of view, and this is personal, the more you feel that penetration happening, you have a relationship that's more in depth because your mind and brain are tuning into it, your ego is tuning into it. So the whole process has a bigger possibility for having a greater change. Am I
Yeah,
getting
you
that
know,
right?
yeah, because you're bringing them all around the table of love. You're bringing them all around that table and saying, hey guys or girls, how are you feeling about all of this? An ego might say one thing, subconscious might say another. And it's quite liberating once you start working with either your personal frequencies or the collective frequencies. But definitely the frequencies of love right this minute are working with Egyptian technologies and the divine feminine. They're working with the universe and the all. They're working with the Oracle of the Dragons, which is all elemental energy, and it's also working with our subconscious. So it's very deep right now, the word love.
Interesting.
It'd be
When
quite
when
sorry,
when
sorry.
so much conflict in the world and so much fear is happening in the world, on the other end, we're getting deeper into love than we've ever been before.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's another thing. The message is to take these to sacred sites, take them to places that are low in energy, high in energy, anywhere. You know, you could invoke them. You can just say, I invoke the 285-432-111-852. I am love, I love. You could invoke that every day, wherever you are. And it invokes a smile. You know, like when you see somebody, they might seem quite down, just smile. A smile is love. It lifts anybody, you know. So it's interesting how it works, and I'm looking forward to working with this. It'd be quite interesting to do it every season to see where love is at,
Mm.
you know, and
It,
it'd be interesting to take it to sacred sites, you know, and to see how it evolves in these places, or to war-torn areas, or wherever, hospitals, wherever.
I think it would also be interesting to get a group together and start asking. This is a new concept for me, so I may get it wrong. Please correct me. Um, to go into the eighth dimension? Did you say it, to penetrate into
The eighth
a
gate,
the
the
eighth
gate,
gate, the
yes,
eighth gate that will bring in a vibration we have never uh, brought into humanity as of yet?
absolutely.
That would be a great group meditation to
It
do.
would. Absolutely. I mean, since the 7th and 8th of December, and then we had the portal on the 12/12, and now we're coming up to solstice. It's quite interesting how the frequencies are becoming heightened. And because 4 times we've tried to evolve as a race and a planet, this is the 5th time now. And it's only got as far as the 7th gate, which is the throat energy center. But now we've got to the 8th gate, and this is where we can change reality with Gaia. It's not on our own, it's unity. We do it together.
So we
So,
summon in Gaia with this eighth gate process, and to bring her presence of higher vibration onto the world,
the Earth plane,
the
absolutely.
play. Can we? We got 4 or 5 minutes here. Uh,
Okay,
you want to? Is it possible for
yeah,
you and I to do a meditation, and everybody that's listening to just bring their intention to say, I want to be a part of this. I would like to know what Gaia feels like in my body,
yeah.
higher dimensional realities. Uh, should we say gods and goddesses that we adore? Can they help us? Angels, archangels, this
Let's
all good
bring
stuff.
everyone in. Well, actually, there are specific archangels working with this energy as well. So we have Metatron, we have Shamuel, we have Zadkiel, and we have Sophia. So they're the four kind of archangels that work with these frequencies or their archetypes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we let's do this.
Okay. So do you want to talk us through, or shall I talk us through?
You go for it.
Or both? Okay.
I'll
Okay.
hold energy. You talk and hold
Okay.
energy. And
So you're going to time it, Bart.
yeah, we got. Well, my next speaker has not come on, um, and so we're going to be good.
Okay. So let's call in Archangel Zadkiel, who is part of this love team. Let's bring in Archangel Metatron, Archangel Sophia, and Archangel Shamuel. Working with Uriel together, let's all come together in unity. And as we do this, spiral down your energy, down into the earth, to the cosmic heart of Gaia. And as you spiral down into the energy, into the earth, feel the light coming back up from Gaia into your heart. And then we're going to call energy in from source, light, to come into the head, into the heart, and back down to the heart of Gaia. So it's constantly running, and we're going to push it out of our arms, from our heart, out of our legs, and we're going to bring it in and push it out, bring it in and push it out, bring it in and push it out. And now on the fourth time, we bring it in to our eighth gate, which is our third eye. And as we do, as it fills, we can feel the sight of the third light coming on, which comes on in your heart and into your earth star, so you're truly connected. And now we just take a couple of minutes to feel into that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we send this out throughout the world, connecting with all the listeners here.
Absolutely.
And let's bring in the eighth gateway, folks. A higher
Boom.
love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Pennie Loftus. You can find her at dragonshub.com. And it's plural of dragons. It's here in hub, the whole thing. And her latest book is The Inner Solar System. Being amazing is the new normal. Bless you, sweetie.
Bless you too, Bart. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Indeed. I'm going on to the next speaker, and you can go and kind of twinkle around and go have a cup of coffee.
Woo! Thank you.
Woo! I am way out there. Thank you so much, hon.
Happy solstice.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whoa. I hope everybody is really out there right now, because I certainly am. And we're bringing on the next speaker. Hi, Robin Hart Shepperd.
Hello, Bart.
How are you doing?
Good, I am.
All right, Robin is a retired chiropractor who now does energetic psychology, a lot of very interesting tools. I think it's real evident with people who are really good energy workers. There's an internal power that they have that's always conveyed through the work. And whenever I think of Robin, I think of that, as I've known her for years. And all of these new adventures she's on, but it always has her power applied to it, to whatever she does. And that's why her work is always phenomenally good. Your website is compassionateclearing.com without a plural. Is that right? Compassionate Clearing? Okay. The last show which you were listening in on is still with me. So, you have an interesting topic as well, as behind you, all your deceased ancestors are behind you, and that's going to be your talk. So I'm going to let you go and have at it.
All right. Well, my talk is on love beyond the grave. So, do we live after physical death? Absolutely. And that is a scientific fact. Physics is the study of energy. Energy, by definition, cannot be destroyed. It's either a liquid, a solid, or a gas. And it may change forms, but it's never destroyed. Therefore, we have no reason to doubt that after the death of the body, the ineffable spirit continues on somewhere. I believe it just steps beyond a veil and they become unseen, but they're still interacting with us. Do the love that you've shared with them remain after death? Absolutely. Do they still think of you? Yes. We know this in several ways because one of the ways is through mediumship. A medium is a psychic person who can hear or see or feel or any combination of that the person on the other side and the message that they want to give to you. So, what do they want? Well, they want to be remembered. And if you'll look behind me here, I moved my altar into the office so that you could see. I have this altar with my loved ones on it, photos of my loved ones on it. They want to be remembered, and in return, what they're going to do is help us from the other side if we will just ask. Like if I'm having car issues, I ask my Uncle Jack to help out. My Aunt Kay was very gracious, so if I'm having difficulty in talking to a prickly person, I will call on Aunt Kay. So help will come through in often unexpected or even funny ways. That's love coming through from the other side of the veil. I have a story to tell you about me and going to chiropractic college. I had to go back to be accepted into chiropractic college. I had to go back and pick up 32 hours of science, which I was dreading, but particularly the big monster was chemistry. And one day I came out of the chemistry class, I walked out into the crisp autumn air, and suddenly I smelled flowers. And I thought, what the heck, flowers? I looked around, the landscape was dead. And then I began to furtively sniff the people that were walking by. There's other students coming out of the class to see if they were wearing a flowery perfume. They weren't. This happened again 2 days later when I went back to class and came out. I could smell those carnations again. So I began to ask people, do you smell those carnations? And they would look at me quizzically, since winter was coming on, and say, no. And then it happened a third time. So the next weekend, I went to some friend's house for a meditation group. And afterwards, we went outside and sat in the hot tub. A breeze came by, and I smell the carnations again. And I said to everybody, can you smell that? Can you smell the carnations? And I looked from face to face to face, and everybody was shaking their head except for Rick, my friend's husband, who is a clinical psychologist. And he said, yeah, I smell them. Wow, I was so grateful. I wasn't crazy then. And Rick said, who do you know that's dead? Looks like somebody's trying to communicate with you. Well, I was just stunned by that because when my father died, I was 6 years old, and the church smelled so strongly of carnations that for years I hated that smell. And so, but I had forgotten that. And here Daddy was coming back 32 years later to help me get through chemistry. And I did. I passed all my courses and made it through just fine. Now that's love coming through from the other side of the veil. I also got love from an unexpected source. I'm going to tell you a story. When I graduated chiropractic college, I wanted to move to Austin, and I got an appointment with a psychic. I didn't know that she was also a medium. And as she was talking to me, she said, "Oh, there's a wrapping over there on that window. That means a spirit is coming in to tell you something." And she closed her eyes for a minute and got really quiet. And then she said, "Have you had a miscarriage? I mean, have you had an abortion?" She asked me. And I said, no, I haven't had an abortion. She said, "Well, have you had a miscarriage?" And I thought about it and I said, "You know, I did about 20 years ago, but I never told anybody because I wasn't married. And it wasn't cool for me to be pregnant. But I forgot about that." And she said, "Well, she's here, and she says she's always with you, and that she loves you very much." Oh, I get emotional even talking about it. And she said her name is Ivy. Well, Ivy was my grandmother's name, and I had no way of knowing that. She had no way of knowing that my grandmother's name was Ivy. And so that's also love from a forgotten and unexpected source. I had also my difficult relationship with my mother, and my mother offered me some. I didn't have her up on my altar. She had 4 planets in Leo, and her moon was in Scorpio. So boy, she wanted to be seen, and she wanted her way, and she wanted to be on that altar, and I just didn't want to put her up there. But she helped me find some photos that I was looking for that I couldn't find. And she just made it really obvious and clear where they were and who the people were. So that was helpful. That's love beginning to return. Everything's not totally worked out between me and my mother, but we're doing much better now that she's dead, and I am asking her sometimes for help. People will ask me, how do you know your loved one's there? Well, they will reach out to you by presenting you with small objects. You may find coins. Long lost jewelry will show up out of nowhere. It'll suddenly be somewhere where you know very well it wasn't. Or they'll surface old photos. Now, I don't know how they move matter, and some of them it takes a while to get that down on how to move matter, but they do it. Feathers. They love to give you feathers. And once I was in, this has been this year, my friend Marilyn and I were in a restaurant. She was a new widow. And a white feather was rolling along on the floor. And I turned to her and I said, "Are they killing the chicken back in the kitchen? Where did that white feather come from?" And she said, "Well, it's Lane. He's speaking to me. He's letting me know he's here." And sure enough, yeah, that was true. All right, insects will show up, particularly butterflies and dragonflies, because those are the insects we most notice. Birds and small animals will start acting strange around you, like coming up like they know you or being real friendly. Lizards or mice may come up and look you in the eye instead of being scared to death of you. And red cardinals, that's real common. Red cardinals is a very common one to come and say hello to you. The deceased can manipulate reality. So a widow might feel her husband sit down on the bed I know that my dear friend Larry had a cat that was killed in a car ran over him, and he told me he could have sworn that Truman had gotten on the bed with him that night. He felt him get on the bed. So Truman had come back to give him love. They may create physical mischief. Pictures fall off the wall, or they turn sideways, or they knock things over. They may create a rainbow at their funeral. And then electrical. They'll turn lights on and off. They'll turn the TV on and off. Or they may present you with scents and sounds and songs. If they were a smoker, they might present you with cigarette smoke, or a drinker, alcohol, perfume, their perfume, or their aftershave. My grandmother was an artist, and she did oil painting. And when I smell turpentine, I know that grandmother's near. So, and I don't want you to freak out about this, but our loved ones have the ability to impress their thoughts on us. Not complicated thoughts, more like impulses. Sometimes they can make us hear their voices in their mind. There's synchronicities and coincidences and recurring numbers. My brother promised us that he would come back to us if he could get through to us. And his wife stopped in at a coffee shop and sat down. And she was the only one there. There were no cars in the driveway. And there was only her, and it looked like only the waitress. And the waitress came up and said, "What'll you have?" And Kit said, "I'll have some coffee." And she said, "And what about your friend?" Kit said, "I'm here alone." She said the waitress walked away really confused. But that was Sam. He could be a real trickster, and somehow or another he made that waitress think that he had walked in. They'll also communicate with dreams. There's many more signs. The dead work hard to give us these signs, so please pay attention to them and thank them. If you'd like to start communication with them, I recommend you find a reputable medium with a good reputation and start the dialogue. You and your loved ones will be glad that you did. I belong to the First Spiritualist Church of Austin, and some members are mediums. We get regular spirit greetings from our loved ones, and I invite you to collaborate with those loved ones on the other side.
Sometimes it's just in your attitude and your welcoming and the voice that you're speaking to acknowledge them, and that creates the correct connection. Is that true?
Absolutely. And if you want to do that, now it's a little harder to start it up if it's been a long time ago that they died. But, my father came back and made it clear he was with me 32 years after he died. So, but your best chances of talking to people are the first year after they die, because they're really trying hard to let you know that they're okay and that they're happy.
And they're also in a higher love in general. So it's not like they're going to come back and tell you what a sloppy kid you were, or that, of your shortcomings, basically.
No.
It's a higher vibration that they're offering.
The dead, once they cross over, they see why you did everything you did. They understand why you acted the way you did and why everybody acted the way they did. And they see why they acted that way. They have no recrimination for the living. And so you can be assured that if ever somebody tells you that somebody has come through and they've got all this unpleasant stuff to tell you, that's not the truth. That's not a real communication from the one that loves you.
Boy, that's all good to know. So, just in your personal life and your relationships with all your ancestors, how are you going to make your Christmas include them? And, is there anything you're going to do kind of special with any of that?
Well, that's an interesting question. No, I won't. I talk to them regularly. I have the altar up. Even if I haven't asked them to do something, and I encourage you to try that. Try asking them, will you please help me with this difficult person? Will you help me figure out how to get this accomplished? Will you, like with Mother, I ask her, I really don't want to keep having unpleasant feelings about you. Show me some memories that were pleasant between you and me. And she did. I began to suddenly just remember nice things she did for me when I was a kid, and different ways that she thought of me, and it was very helpful. So I think that to them, I don't know that there's Yule or Christmas or Thanksgiving, but they do like it when the family all gets together, as long as the family is getting along. They like to they like to see everybody getting along, and that's because they love everybody, and we come in soul groups, and we all come, even whether we're being negative or whether we're being positive with someone, we all come in to help other people in their transformation, because after all, the whole idea is that we're here in a bodysuit for a short time, but our whole reason for existing is to transform and expand and grow our love and our understanding of one another. So yes, they want to see us together, but but they don't like to see us fight. And that happens at holiday gatherings, as we both know.
Well, maybe they're in this point of view like, oh, there they are again. And but I'd much rather have everybody laughing.
Right. That's true. So yeah, we're going to be, I'll be continuing to communicate with them. Generally, I will do that right before I go to bed at night, because the altar is there in my bedroom, and I just step up to the altar, and I thank people who've assisted me. I thank the spirits who've assisted me with stuff, and I try to stay really. It's easy to ask a question of somebody, will you please do this?
And it kind of happens.
Pardon?
And it happens in some way. And
yeah,
we're coming,
and then you forget to thank them. It comes together, and you just
All right. I'm going to have to stop. You've done a great job, and I've held you over because I'm waiting for the next speaker who's now here.
Okay. Well,
Robin, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're so welcome. I could talk about this all day long.
I know. I appreciate your enthusiasm so much. Great talk. Compassionate Clearing, Robin Shepperd. Thank you so much. And that'd be compassionateclearing.com, by the way. All right. Blessings to you, hon.
Oh, and one quick thing. I'm going to have a transcript of my talk on my website in the next 48 hours.
Whoa. That's working it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you,
Take care, Bart.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. So that was amazing. And we're coming on with our next guest, Neil Ryan Dumra from Third Cacao. Yeah, you had a lot of light behind you, brother. Yeah, better.
Good.
There you go. Now I can see your shiny face instead of the shiny windows.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Neil is from Austin, Texas. He has a wonderful cacao bar and a cacao business that ships cacao all around the world. And it's called Third, and that's spelled out, thirdeyecacao.com. That's correct, right?
Yep, that's right.
And, you know, the link between love and cacao is quite phenomenal. But I'm going to let you take it away. So, what do you have to offer to the group, Neil?
Yeah. So, 'tis the seasons. Happy holy days. This is a great time, collectively in nature, as well as in society, as humans, connect with family, go inward. The season changes, and it's so important that we get more connected. And in cacao, I have a book called Cacao Will Show You How. We talk about this very essence. Every day we wake up with new hopes and new dreams, whether we know it or not. A lot of times we get stuck in patterns that don't necessarily serve our highest self. And cacao, when we wake up in the morning and drink it, it literally helps us get out of these ruts that we're not aware of. And so when we talk about the heart, we talk about our love, we talk about our blood. It's literally what's behind us, like our ancestors, what's before us, where we're going, what we're directing. It lets us tap into that forward moving motion with a place of coherence, with a place of navigation that comes from within. And so that's why I say cacao will show us how. We don't necessarily have to think about it, which when we think too much, we stress ourselves out. Literally, we don't need to think as much as we needed to in order to survive. So that's why I say tap into the nature of cacao. We can actually tap into the art of life, the color of life, beyond survival, into the thrival, into this dimension where the kings before us got to experience the essence of love, the essence of oxytocin. And what third eye is a representation of is that center point, that same place where people are looking for when they meditate, they contemplate, they concentrate, that place that we're all looking for. We can create it every day, believe it or not. And it's a sustainable way of creating that consciousness through this vessel of cacao. So that's kind of what I talk about a lot. But then it's like we are going to navigate issues all the time. Life is going to show us our shadows. And it's through those shadows that we get to experience the light of certain aspects of ourselves. And when we do it from a place of centeredness, we're not hacking away at our lives. We're not hurting the people we love. We're accessing this consciousness from a place of sovereignty. So I talk about this a lot. The people in our lives are shaping us all the time. And just like you, Bart, with your access, with your consciousness, with taking people to tours to access the feminine, in this Austin community, I've been able to utilize the vessel that is Casa de Luz and bring cacao with active movement. That's why I call it love in action. When we start doing the work, like Kundalini energy is like our life force, right? But when we activate it with grace and ease, we're doing it in a way that's literally sharing it and bringing this essence of humanity back. And it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. So I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what life and quantum consciousness really means, but I do know that energy is palpable, and when we share it, it's one of those things that gets universally brighter for everybody. And so I know Bart is a big proponent of quantum healing. I know cacao has shown me so many different aspects of love, and it's just that. It's that essence. So yeah, that's what I got to share today. Happy holidays, drinking some beautiful water. And yeah, I've had my cup of cacao today, this morning.
I did too.
Yeah, it's been great.
And it's just funny when you start having cacao instead of coffee. Um, it calms your body down and opens up a kind of a happiness inside of you, a security that you get to start your day in. And also it stimulates you like coffee, but it doesn't have that jump start frenetic feeling sometimes that coffee serves. And I love coffee, but this is kind of amazing how it works.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's like, you know, when you start growing and doing the spirit work, this biohacking, biointegration, quantum healing, we go through different, literally our consciousness goes through different levels. And as we go through these different places, it's cacao that helps us find semblance, helps us find that center point. And I really love the fact that it does that. It's like we can go through these different places and spaces, but we can continue finding that love and that love story. And when you love something so much, it actually becomes part of your essence. You don't necessarily have to, make it a cacao ceremony. Everything is a ceremony. Even drinking this water becomes a ceremony because you appreciate it.
Well, yes, it's about awareness. And when your body's calmer, you're more aware.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling that it's life is happening so quickly now more than ever. We have all this technology. We have all these different ways in which humans are optimizing. And every part of our earth has been penetrated by humans, basically. And so even the people who are nurturing this cacao, they are aware of the medicinal properties. And that's kind of why, if you look at the movie Avatar, it's such a representation. To me, Avatar is a documentary. They realize the jungle has all the medicine. It has the connection, the deep reverence to source. It's in our soil. And, when we think about even these suits that we wear, we are avatars too. We are avatars of our ancestors. And when we navigate this life from a soul's perspective, we are navigating it from a very different felt experience. We're not navigating it from an anxious experience. We're navigating it from a peace-deriving experience. And when you're looking to create peace, that's love in action. And that is what cacao allows you to do with confidence. It's not a weakened compassion. It's not a weakened state of love. It's a confident state of love. You're not a victim of love. You're a power of love. And it's a very different thing than what most spirituality and consciousness talks about. It's that power of vitality.
It's in the cacao that you sell, the ceremonial cacao, not something that you would buy in a regular store, but bought from places that literally are in a more jungle setting. They're not trying to make these huge cacao beans, but a regular cacao plant that it was originally grown to be, which has a different form of magic.
Yes, it's with the sun, it's with the bugs, it's with all the other parts of nature, and they have their own unique way of doing things, and we honor that.
Yes, and that's so much about what plant medicine is something connected to a source within nature, and there's certain plants that seem to have that, and cacao is one of them. I like to think of roses as another, and others that are more popular. But they're just beautiful things that we can do to enhance our awareness and our love, raising to a higher love much more easier.
Rose is super powerful. Rose
It-
is like a queen in terms of plant medicine, and it has all sorts of benefits, all these vitamins. And we have it in our Goddess Feels elixir, which when we consume with nature, it has a different dialect when we do it, when we attune to it. It's not just to create shit. And I mean that literally. It's to create an essence. It's to create a consciousness. And that's so important.
Yes, it is.
When we're doing this conscious work, we don't need to bypass these ingredients. Ingredients matter. It
They
is
do.
so important.
They're part of our synthesis, which today that's been a really theme of all the speakers, is learning how to get into that deep synthesis with that. And cacao is just one of those things that goes directly deep inside of you as you drink it. It's totally amazing.
I have a product here I want to talk about too.
Okay, one more. We got about a minute left, and we're going to bring on Leia.
Okay, so this right here is Shilajit in lion's mane, and it's a specific Shilajit in lion's mane where it actually targets the part of the brain where the amygdala. So it actually helps the amygdala become super focused and calms it down, actually. So for those who have stress, trauma, all sorts of things, this stuff is magic in a bottle. There's no label on it, as you can see, and we'll be announcing this in January. Super excited about it.
Well, that's what you do, and this is on your site, Third Eye Cacao, is all of these products that you've invented over the years and promoted. You're quite a inventor and magician on that level, because I've used all of this stuff, and it's really changed my life, brought me back to greater health in amazing ways in the 3 years that I've known you and used your products. So much gratitude to you, Neil, for all that you give out to the world. And
you too, brother Bart. I love you. I appreciate you. Spreading love is easy. And I'm so grateful for Third Eye, the cacao, the yoga, the meditation, Casa de Luz, the community we're a part of, and all the magic we get to share. Here's to more love to be shared. And thank you for becoming quantum consciousness to this community. We appreciate you. Here's Leia.
It's a mutual love. Let's bring on Leia Attale.
Yep.
Who's going to end the show with a song. And she's got just a beautiful voice. And
well, hello.
Hi, Leia.
Hi. How are you?
Great. Leia is a singer. You have a new album coming out?
I do. I'm in the process of kind of finishing up on everything. But it features 5 other fantastic musicians, all my original music that I wrote. That I've been writing since I moved to Austin 5 years ago. And yeah, it's just really fun. We're friends, and they're just so talented. It's just been so amazing to see how they take on.
All right. So we got about 3 to 4 minutes left. So we better cut it to the skinny. I like to say that you can find Leia at Leia, Leah Attale, Attali, at bandzoogle.com/ban.
And actually, you can just do leiaattale.com. It's just changed to that. So
let's cut it to the skinny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Why don't you end this beautiful show, this Merry Christmas show, with a song?
Sure. This song is called Clouded Perception.
Colors changing all around, I stay the same. Resting my eyes, thinking I've got the range, and no one's gonna tell me got to do it this way. It's do or die. I ain't hanging my dancing with shadows. Yes, I'm on my toes. Where it stops, nobody knows. From feeling raw to feeling whole, and on yes, on it goes. Clouded perceptions driving me up the walls. Clouded perceptions. Gonna need to take the fall. Take the fall. Take the fall. Take the fall. Take the fall.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leia. That was just beautiful.
Thank you,
And so-
Bart.
So you can find Leia at Leia Attale, ATTALI.com. Thank you for ending this beautiful Christmas show. And for all the listeners out there, I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and hopes that we added something to your day today. Many blessings. Thank you, Leia. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All speakers that are on today. Many blessings, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
See you soon.